Hey folks, I'm Rob.
And I'm Nathan.
And we are
Two Guys in a Ride.
Say, Nate, where are we at today? There should be like a sign or something.
Yeah, there should be a sign somewhere. Hey, we are at the SCCA Jack Pine Sprints at the Brainerd International Raceway in Brainerd, Minnesota.
That's right, and we're going to bring you some race footage, but more importantly, we're going to talk to some of the drivers and get their perspective and find out why they like racing and what has gotten them into this. So before we do that, Nathan,
click on the subscribe button down below and ring that bell notification so you never miss a video.
That's right. So what do you say, Nate?
Oh, let's go to the races. I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and today we're out here at the Brainerd International Raceway, and we are out with SRG Autosports here, and David is here. David is the owner.
I am.
And thanks, Dave, for taking a minute to talk with us about your company.
My pleasure.
So, for those of you who enjoy racing, there is a way to get into racing and at least experience it relatively cheaply. And so, Dave, tell us about your company and what people can expect.
Hello, my name is David Shaw. Basically, my company, we have three different companies. One of them is Race Suit Rental. That was the first company that I started, and that allows people that do not own their own racing gear. We provide the helmet, the suit, the gloves, the boots, and that evolved into a retail store that we have in South St. Paul, Minnesota, and that's called Speedy Race Gear. And that is the retail version where people can go in and purchase all of their products for racing. And Speedy Race Gear, SRG, is the way we came up with the name for this. So SRG stands for Speedy Race Gear, which is our retail store. Speedy Race Gear originally was Lindell Motorsports, was a company based out of Chicago for 25 plus years. I purchased the company 7 years ago, and after that 7 years, I moved the company to Minnesota, and now we started out with just supporting a couple cars, just renting cars, and it was basically a takeoff of our race suit rental business. We thought we could rent the safety gear, but we might as well rent some cars as well. I've personally been doing this particular class for, I don't know, about 15 years now. I've been racing for 20 plus years, and it's not something that I decided to do, but it was my passion that I definitely turned into my job. We currently support over 12 cars. Half of them are owner cars, half of them are rental cars. We specialize in Spec Racer Ford and Formula Enterprise cars.
So, if now, like we had talked with Greg earlier, who owns the green spec car.
Correct.
So he actually leaves that here with you, or does he take that home with him and bring it back?
The majority of the cars here, we transport the cars, we store the cars, we prep the cars. There's only 2 cars here that the owners transport their own cars and prep their own cars.
Wow, so you wouldn't even have to have room in your garage to store anything because you take care of all that.
We take care of the entire process.
And you have a 3-day class where people actually want to learn how to race and get a license. You have a 3-day class that you offer?
I don't have the class. The BIR Performance Driving School offers a class. It's the SCCA competition school.
Right.
So if a person is interested in doing this, they would take that 3-day class through that school, and there's multiple at the SCCA accredited schools throughout the country. But in order to rent one of our cars or to drive at these events, you definitely have to have your SCCA competition license.
And that's only a 3-day course, so you
It is.
can do it over a long weekend.
And you can rent a car for that too. You don't even need your own car.
So I mean, it's just super convenient for people who aren't aware of how easy it would be, to get that taste of racing.
Well, it makes the commitment level. You don't have to buy a car and buy the equipment, buy the suit, buy the helmet, make that a large initial purchase, and a truck and a trailer, and then decide maybe after 1 or 2 events you don't like it. So this is the way that you can rent it all, get involved with it, see if you like it or not, and then make the decision whether you want to purchase, so then it's your own car, or continue to rent a car.
So if I were a person that went through the class, came here, rented your car a couple of times, decided, gosh, I'd like to buy one, but I don't want to store it or anything. Do you have like a contractual agreement you set up with people? So it's like a yearly fee or a monthly fee, because obviously it costs you to store the car and maintain it.
Correct.
So it would be like a contract where I pay you X amount, for the year or whatever, and then you take care of my car, bring it to the races I want.
Well, it's based on a per event fee.
Okay.
So, and then part of our fees include prepping the car. We have a separate transport charge. So we, and then if, as far as the storage fees goes, if a person does 6 or more events with us, then that's included.
Wow, that's just awesome. I mean, that have, so it would not be anywhere near as costly as you would think to get your foot wet in racing and to see if you liked it or not.
Yes,
and you can walk away from it and say, okay, I'm done, and you have nothing to try and sell or get rid
Correct.
of. Or,
Correct.
You didn't build that extra space in your garage for nothing, because you didn't have to.
Correct.
Now, that's just really awesome. David, anything else you want to say about your company?
What we wanted to do, I mean, the main reason we're here, we're a group of people, and we really like to have fun, and this is all of our passion. And it's if we win first place and we win the national championship, that'd be fantastic. I don't think that's everyone's goal here. Everyone's goal is to come out and have a good time. My wife Tamara, we put on a fantastic breakfast and lunch. We have checkered flag happy hour, and it's just a group of guys and gals that just love the sport. So.
Well, David, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Tell us about SCR Auto Sports. We sure appreciate it.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you.
Good luck at the races.
Thank you.
Hi, folks. I'm Nathan with 2 Guys in a Ride. We're here at the Brainerd International Raceway, and you can hear all the cars behind us here lining up. And we're here with Mike. And Mike, this is the entry point to which cars actually enter the track.
Correct. This is called the grid area, and what over there is what they call a false grid. What we typically do out there, we will mark on the pavement starting positions of the cars as they qualify. And we all have grid sheets to point them in to make sure they're in the right position at the start of the race.
Okay, and so that when they enter, they're all in the correct order.
Correct. Yes.
And so you do this all day long. I mean, this is do they do this for the qualifying parts too?
For the most part, when they come down for practice and qualifying, they're not going to go out in any kind of an order. However they get here is the way they will send them out. And they, obviously faster cars always, come to the top. So
right. But for the actual races, then they're lined up in the very specific order.
Correct. Yeah.
So
and one of the other things everybody will do out here is to they'll check to make sure the drivers have their safety gear on, the helmets are on correctly, the window nets, if they have an enclosed car, is in position. Open cars, the guys will wear arm restraints, so they just want to make sure everything's hooked up correctly.
That was my second question. Was what exactly do you check besides that the car's in there? So it's kind of like a safety check.
Absolutely,
yes. is what it is. And how many people do you have working here that help you do this throughout the day?
Depending on the race weekend and the event, anywhere from probably 5 to 10 per weekend. BIR, we haven't been getting great large groups of cars up here for any length of time, but we have probably 5 to 10 people. A lot of us have been doing this position for about 30 years.
30 years
or better.
So, why do you do this?
I love cars, but I can't race. I haven't got the wallet big enough to race.
But and I imagine they know you've been doing this with the same group of people. A lot of this.
Yep.
So part of that is the camaraderie, right? You get to spend the day with your friends.
Absolutely.
Doing something that you enjoy.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I'm also vice president this year of the Vintage Sports Car Racers group here in Minneapolis, St. Paul area. So I got involved with them a number of years ago through a friend of mine. And that's a great group of people. They're running old cars and they're out there just having fun.
So what made you get into that? Into this whole car thing? What?
Oh, I started out as a kid.
Okay.
My dad took me over to the Minnesota State Fair a number of years ago to watch sprint car racing on the dirt track.
Yep.
And I was hooked.
That's all it took.
That's all it took.
The rest is history, they say.
It is. I mean, I'll do a couple of driver schools in my own street cars up here during the course of the year. It's a lot of fun,
Okay, so you actually do teach some racing too.
I don't teach, but I do participate in the driver schools up here in a couple of cars.
Yeah, and they have, and we've mentioned that a little bit, but there are a couple different schools that happen around the state.
Yeah.
And BIR has one of them up here.
Yes. Gary Curtis and his gang up here do a
great job.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of itching to step into some of those cars. I think I might arrange to come up and do that.
It is a lot of fun.
And it's not expensive either.
For a one-day course, it's like $300 if, throw a meal or two in there and a hotel room.
Yeah.
Come out. It's a lot of fun. Typically you'll put 150, 170 miles on your car during the course of the day, so you have a lot of fun.
Oh,
you're wore out at the end of the day, trust me. But then you can do it. Gary also runs a licensing school. That's a 3-day school.
Cool.
And when you're done with that school, you actually are licensed to race SCCA.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you so much for telling us what you do out here, and have fun the rest of the day.
We always do.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.